Okay, so this is Warframe 10 years later. I can't lie, looking at Steam charts. So yeah, as you can see here on Steam charts, we've got 72,000 players currently playing the game, which is pretty fucking impressive because it is just over 10 years of release. So they've managed to keep a player base of not far off 100k for 10 fucking years. So not a lot of games can do that. We have to give the props to them. And also something funky that happened. Some reason when I search Warframe, all the DLCs come up as well on Steam charts. I guess you can buy them on Steam, so they're showing up here. And fuck me, there's probably like 20. Yeah, but yeah, 72,000 players. If we click on it, we can see does it let us see during release. So one person in February 2013 was playing the game, but quickly jumped to March and 20k, and it pretty much has been a fairly healthy rise until about 2019, where it's sort of leveled. So at about 131, and yeah, leveled out a little bit, kind of just stayed at around the 60, 70ish to 100k mark. It had a peak in July of 2021, and again it settled back down to this 50 to 70k sort of area, and it just had another peak in April, and now it's back down to not much further down, but about 80k. So yeah, it's done pretty well. It's had a fairly healthy life. Like, it's not like it's just died at one point and resurrected itself. It's definitely had some peaks, probably most likely during updates, but didn't manage to retain the actual player base. But yeah, it's done pretty well. You can see its all-time peak is 181k, and yeah, 72,000 people playing it currently, so that's pretty damn impressive. Fair play to them. I want to also add that these stats are strictly for Steam, which means it's basically only the PC players, so most likely with the consoles involved too, we're probably clearing, I don't know, 100 to 150k as a guess, as an estimate. Obviously I don't have the official numbers for that, but yeah, the game's doing well for itself. The game's still very live, to my surprise, I'll be honest with you. I really expect this game to kind of be like on its way out, but no, it's still thriving, so you can't say the game's dead. It definitely ain't dead. I used to play this game, I wouldn't say just on release, probably a few years after. I was probably playing it like 2017 when I used to play on Xbox before I could afford a PC. I was just a young boy, and I used to spend loads of time playing this game because in general the gameplay in this game is something I feel like you can keep coming back to. It's really enjoyable, I can't lie to you. I remember when they released this Plains of Eidolon, this whole like open free roam area, but that's when I first came back to the game to kind of see what was going on. They've been consistently updating the game since. It seems to evolve just even further. Now I literally have reinstalled this game now, would believe probably the first time in probably 2 years maybe. I mean, the last time I played this game was when Plains of Eidolon first was released, so God knows, a good while ago, we know that for sure. See, this is the thing, right? Graphically wise, this game is pretty decent. Like, I mean, it's definitely better, but overall it's pretty impressive. Like, I don't think you can really complain much about this game graphically. The gameplay on this game to be very unique. You know, it's a MMO RPG kind of game. There's so much you can do to it. It has a lot of like going to different planets to farm materials and whatnot, and yeah, something I found to be pretty enjoyable. I think that's probably why this game is alive still. They update it so consistently. It's still being updated even now, over 10 years later, still adding new characters. But yeah, this is the game 10 years later. Still looks relatively great, to be entirely honest with you. Combat's still as fun as it used to be. You still got so many customization options, so many different characters you can play as with completely different abilities. For a free-to-play game, I don't think there's a lot you can complain about. I'm sure people will complain about the microtransactions you can buy, but again, it's completely optional. Of course, it will speed certain things up in the game, but that again is literally up to you. You don't have to do that. You can just grind like I did. And I mean, on this account on my PC here, this hasn't got half of the stuff I used to have. I had a bunch of Prime weapons back in the day. I think I had the Bratton Prime, I had the Orphus Prime, and yeah, I had a bunch of much better stuff than what I've got here. But I just find this game to be such an enjoyable free-to-play like MMO RPG. The gameplay is just satisfying, and like the amount of options you have with modding your weapons, and like some of the stuff on here is like very thorough compared to most games you pay a fucking shit ton of money for. And I think there's a lot to be excited for with this game, seeing as it's free to play. They're still releasing updates constantly. They just had their 10-year anniversary event just recently, which they basically gave a bunch of quests where you can get free stuff and whatnot. It makes me happy to see this game still thriving, to be entirely honest. I'd be disappointed to see it go, because this is one of the few free-to-play games that have been released that are actually sticking around, actually surviving, doing their thing. I think it's because the gameplay on here is fairly unique. It actually, there's a reason to play it. Yeah, okay, buddy. You had the whole option of basically getting pets in the game, or companions, they'd call them in this. that would come around, help you out, get loot for you. You can mod them to do certain things and have certain perks to them. It's just so much content in this game. It's unbelievable. There's so many options of things you can do, so much variety, and everything in the game was completely obtainable just through grinding. Obviously, there's certain things that will take longer, that would be much more time consuming to get because they're rare materials or rare items. But again, that's part of the grind, isn't it? Like, the good stuff wouldn't come easy. However, this is probably a reason for a lot of people to lose interest or kind of get burnt out on the game. We've also got PvP. That's not something if I'm being entirely honest, I've really looked into as much. I feel like he needed to be like much higher level and probably have much better weapons to be doing that, but could be wrong. I was always here for sort of the PvE, like MMO sort of experience, but it's very possible that could be very enjoyable too, and I definitely will consider looking into that too. Like, I mean, if we just look around, like, the game looks amazing, if we're being entirely honest. I mean, shit, you can even fucking fish. Alright, so here we are. We've come to one of the social districts in the game. We've definitely got some players in here. Let's have a look. Holy shit, yep. This place is just as busy as it was before. It looks like the community is genuinely still thriving for this game, which I'm pretty happy to say that, because this is something I always enjoyed, so I'd be very disappointed to see this game die like that. But 10 years strong, man, not a lot of games can do that, so this has definitely got something special to it. I think a massive impact to the game is definitely the customization. Like, you just have so many options. There's so many different characters you can play. Like, I'm just glad to see a developer actually just continuing to support a game and bring out new things. As you can see, we've got traders here for literally everything you could want to have a trader for. We've got stuff for your pets. So not only is your character customizable and your weapons completely customizable, your own spaceship is completely customizable, if you didn't guess that as well. So as you can see here, this is my own spaceship. I've customized it with the colors I chose, whatnot. You can also completely customize this and change your ships. Obviously, this thing here, this is one of the relics I've got. You can either sell it or you can use it to put in your ship, but there's plenty more customization. I believe this animal here is also something I put in there a while back. Yeah, like, you can kind of see exactly why this game is still here 10 years later and still popping. The amount of content is fucking ridiculous this game gives you, like, for free. The amount of content you've got here, you've got all these different events popping up here. You've got so much shit to do, so I'm not surprised the game's still here and thriving. People still love it. Honestly, it's a shame that more people or more developers don't treat their games like this and just like constantly blast it with new stuff. You can see all of the new stuff that's happened in the last week here. This game's certainly more alive than anything. It can't be questioned whether this game is still popping or not. It's yeah, still very much alive here. Yeah, this is our quick little video coming back to Warframe, seeing how it was doing, checking it was okay, and or checking to see how the game's still going. If you'd like to see more videos like this where we kind of come check out old games and see how they're doing, then definitely support this video. But it was cool to come back here, play a little bit, and just see what's been going on with the game. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.